Good evening, Therapy Army. Welcome to United Real Therapy. Welcome to the Manchester United versus Everton match preview. I'm hopefully trying to get on one of my friends who's a diehard Evertonian. I hope you guys are well. Sending lots of love and light. I hope you had you're having a good Easter. Those of you celebrate Easter. And I hope that those of you are fasting. It's almost halfway now in Ramadan. So I hope that Ramadan's going well with you. Big up to everybody. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And let it know. Right, that means that my friend is definitely not coming on. So it looks like doing a solo one. How can we get to this? Ask about Manchester United versus Everton. Everton. Going on with the internet tonight, but the internet moving mad. The internet is moving mad tonight, so big up to you, brother. Not got a great connection tonight, so hopefully it's going to do a quick one. But just to let you know, guys, in terms of injuries for Manchester United, are suspended. So just to show you, obviously Garnacho's out, Eriksen's out, Garnacho and Van der Beek probably out for the season. Eriksen, who am I to believe that he's going to be coming on soon? Big up Haroon, big up Total Ball, big up. It's like a bit of a glitch. Yeah, can you hear me though? Is that okay? Yeah, big up Andy B. Same bro, sitting playing up. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what's going on. It could be. I don't know what's going on, but anyway. So the injured players, suspended players. Obviously, Garnacho's out for the season. I don't think Eriksen's ready. I don't think Eriksen's going to start. So that's going to be very interesting. Yeah. Let me just try something because it's lacking, yeah? Just bear with me, guys. Stay there. Everybody, just stay there. And hopefully I'll try to get back on. So just bear with me. Bear with me, guys. Stay there, people. Stay there. I'm trying to fix the problem with the internet, so just bear with me. I'm still trying to sort it out, people. So let's hope it improves and it's better. How are we doing? Can you hear me now clearly, guys, or is it still lagging? Is it still lagging, or you can hear me? Can you still hear me, guys? Or is it still lagging? Is it better now, guys? It looks a little bit better. It sounds a little bit better. And it's looking a bit better, people. Smash a like on the video. We're going to get through this, people. We're going to get through this regardless of what difficulties it is. We are going to have a preview regardless. Can you guys hear me? Give me the thumbs up if you can hear me. Thumbs up, people. Thumbs up if you can hear me clearly. Thumbs down if it's lagging still. Come on. Come on, Therapy Army. Let's be having you. Let's be having you, Therapy Army. Let's be having you, Therapy Army. Let's be having you. Is that better? Are we better, people? Are we better? That's a bit better, yeah? Yeah, thumbs up. Hey, we're getting a thumbs up. We're getting a thumbs up. Brilliant. Well done, Therapy Army. Well done. No, Nuruddin, please don't leave me now. I've been waiting for you all night. United Devil, big up United Devil, man. Lots of love to United Devil. We ain't going nowhere, United Devil. Yes, almost missed out Nuruddin, but no way I was going to miss you tonight. Hit the likes, people. Nuruddin is the main man at the end of the bloody hell stream. Gone haywire. No, I'm back, mate. I'm back, United Devil. Keep the faith. I hear you, man, but I can't see you. Yeah, you can see me now. Hopefully just sort out the camera. So just bear with me, people. Hopefully we should fix the camera. Should have that fixed for you. Is that better? Bit better? Little bit better? Camera's all right, yeah? There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's sort this camera out, hopefully. Bit better. Let's sort it out a bit better. A little bit better. There we go. Now I'm a bit happy. Now I'm a bit happy. Let's get on with it, people. Let's get on with it. Let's get on with it tonight. Tonight is tonight. Tonight is tonight, people. My hoodie's going a bit bonkers, but tonight is the night, people. Let's get on with it. Manchester United play Everton. 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 That's how they're singing it. I actually went to the corresponding fixture a couple of months ago, so about 3-4 months ago. Ronaldo got the winner. I don't know if you remember. Anthony scored. No, they scored first. Iwobi scored a brilliantly curling goal first 4 or 5 minutes in the game. Anthony equalised. Then Casemiro made a brilliant interception, won the ball back in midfield, played a beautiful pass to the left-hand side of Ronaldo. Ronaldo left foot, Pickford nowhere to be seen. So big up people. You know what? I'm not going to be long tonight, so guys, seriously. I'm going to try to do this preview by myself, so I'm not going to try to be long. But the next show we'll get you all on for the match reactions, people. Internet is acting a bit funny, and I don't want to start lagging and everything like that. So this one I'm going to do a bit myself, people. So big up to every one of you. Hopefully we'll have you guys on for the match reaction. I want to quite focus on a lot of the things Lisandro Martinez said. You know, I've always said Lisandro Martinez is the captain. He is the captain, in my opinion. My captain. That's what he is. So he's come out and basically said, on reaction to the game last night, he's basically said, he said it was a massive 3 points for us. United centre-back said we want to be there, especially to qualify for the Champions League. And he said, I really like the reaction of the team and the effort as well. We won the game, and that was good. The manager's happy. We have to keep going, but it's the mentality. Not like against Newcastle. I'm really happy for the team, really proud as well. Now that we've got 3 points, we have to think now that Everton, and we have to work a lot. You know what I mean? So there you go, leadership. So Martinez talked about what Ten Hag said. Ten Hag when Ten Hag talked about, the manager said he's happy, and then when Ten Hag says, he said, now we have to get 3 points, and we have to think now to Everton, and we have to work a lot. Ten Hag called players becoming winning machines after malfunctioning, as saying Jamie Stark with Luke Shaw labeling the performance unacceptable. So he comes out and says, Lisandro Martinez, that he totally agrees with the manager. Not every game, now every game's a final, and you have to play with the passion. You have to be able to be ready. You have to be ready. You have to be sharp. You have to be sharp. You have to fight for the 3 points. And I think that is what is really missing. But people, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We're 70 subscribers away from 7,000. So let us, come on, people, become part of the community, and let's achieve that levels. Achieve that milestone. This is 7,000. That's a milestone for the Therapy Army. We're a small little channel. We built a small community, and we like the way we interact. So big up to every one of you. We spoke as a team. Lisandro Martinez, we know that it's not possible to play like that. He's talking about the way they played against Newcastle, especially in those kind of games. Like I said in the beginning, we have to fight more than the opponent. We have to play more with more passion. We have to play with more energy. And at the end, we have a really good squad, so we have to have everyone ready to play. So that's him talking about. So just to go back, because I got distracted before, in terms of injuries, Manchester United at the moment, Garnacho looks like out for the season. Eriksen, I think he's a couple of games away. Van der Beek out for the season. Luke Shaw, apparently it's a muscular. It was a muscular precautionary substitution the other night. Heaton is out for a few more weeks. So we don't know. We don't know how severe. And a lot of people, the reports, well, the Times report is saying that it's a precautionary Luke Shaw. If you ask me, I think my guy is, he's hit the jackpot, innit? New contract, and my guy's doing what my guy does. New contract, and he's heading out of here. New contract and hitting that. No, people fast to criticize Sancho, Anthony, but they don't want to talk about the midfield being oval, ball can't recycle. Exactly, 100%. Don't fucking move now move for the next table up to the game. That's what I'm nervous about. Brentford. We won the next game. Everton, we win 3-0. Well, Everton, listen, it's a derby, innit? It's Manchester versus Liverpool. At the end of the day, it's Manchester versus Liverpool. And that's how they see it. And Everton have been quite a bogey team for Manchester United throughout the years. They stopped us from winning the league. A lot of people, I don't know, everybody remembers, but they stopped us from winning the league before that's happened. We beat Everton. We will beat Everton. United fans who are always nervy, no one will beat Everton. We don't win, we'll kick right off. Listen, it's going to be what it is, bro. It is what it is. Big up Nuruddin and everyone in the chat. Big up to everybody in the chat, man. Big Nuruddin, loving the work. Loving your work, Steve. Big up, Steve Coppell. Lots of love. Decore is out for Everton, and that's a bonus. Yeah, Decore is a good player. I've seen him have really good performances at Old Trafford when he was at Watford as well. So that's going to be very interesting. In terms of the injuries that they have, obviously, Townsend is out till May, and Calvin Lewis is out as well. In terms of their team, let me just have a look at their squad. Everton squad. Yeah, for me, Onana is a brilliant player for them. They're playing Ellis Simmons. Sometimes they play him up front. Damari Gray is a danger man. Emiobi. Obviously, they've got good defenders, decent defenders, Tarkovsky and Keane, obviously, Michael Keane, who scored that wonderful strike the other day. They didn't play all of the game because who got sent off? The Brazilian player got sent off for Spurs. So they didn't play a long time with 10 men. Coleman, obviously, Connor Cody, Yaramina. They've got decent players. Nathan Patterson. Vitaly Mikalenko. They got Tom Davis. They've got a decent squad. I ain't gonna lie, people. Pickford, some days he has a man of the match performances, but in terms of the midfield, Onana is somebody I like, young player, brilliant athleticism, really good player. So it's going to be a very, very interesting, the type of game, what we're expecting. You know what I mean? What type of game that we're expecting. Like I said, Onana, Iwobi, Tom Davis, Trezeguet, Ghana came on against Spurs. So Ghana might be in contention for this game to start. And that would be a wonderful return for him at Old Trafford, to be fair. Because since he's been at Everton, he's had just really bad luck with injuries. So, yeah. He's had a really bad luck with injuries. So, it's going to be a very, very interesting kind of season for them, because they're fighting for relegation. And we already know Sean Dyche loves coming to Old Trafford, loves coming with spoilers. I remember a couple of times under Jose Mourinho on the Ole period where, you know, twice before that under Jose, I think we came back from 2-0 down twice. Lucas Moura, big up to United for life. Lucas Moura. We came back, I remember we came back from 2-0 down to draw 2-2. And then on the Ollie in the January, they beat us 2-0, comfortably beat us Burnley. So Sean Dyche knows how to set a team up to beat Manchester United at Old Trafford. He's done it. He's got the T-shirt, and he's a very dangerous manager. The way he gets like players to run that little bit more. It might not be attractive to most people, football purists, but it's very effective. The football that he plays, Sean Dyche, is very effective. So I'm still, even though we beat Brentford, I'm still not confident because the Bottle Job FC is still always there with his team. Now, Paulinho, I will take Paulinho. Even though Onana's younger, but you know what? Why can't we have both? United for life. Why can't we have both? I think Onana is more of an attacker, but Paulinho is a monster, mate. Paulinho's stats for the Premier League winning the ball back. We need people who can win the ball back because Man United lose the ball. Big up to my brother Joel. He said, Nuruddin, bless all you well, so I'm good, bro. I hope you well. When you moving back to Manchester, man. None of that derby business, man. You need to move back to Manchester. So, guys, I'm expecting a tough game. I'm not going to lie to you. You know I don't lie. I'm expecting a tough game. Really tough game. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting not an easy game for Manchester United. If I look at the table right now, we are on 53 points. We've got one. To me, games in hand mean F4. So don't ever get worried about the games in hand that we have, because to me, I'd rather have the points on the board than the games in hand. If you know, you know. I'm not asked about games in hand. I'm asked about the points on the board. Man United have played 28 games. We've won 16. We've drawn 5. We've lost 7. 4-42 against 37, plus 5. Our goal difference is plus 5. Spurs is 12 and Newcastle is 26. That is really bad. Manchester United defensively. And for a season where Maguire's not played, and to me, to you, have not played, we do collapse a lot. Even with Martinez, even with Casemiro, even with Varane, we collapse. That is the thing that the stats don't lie. Those stats do not lie. They tell you no lies, people. So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting where we go, what we do. So, yeah. Yeah. It's not going to be easy. Yeah. It's not going to be easy, people. I'm telling you, it's really not. It's not going to be easy game. Tactically, in terms of the way they play, Everton, the style of play, the way they play, is Sean Dyche. If you ever seen a Sean Dyche team, They incredibly work hard off the ball. They play for the percentages. They look to go forward quickly. So the counter-attack with Gray is going to be dangerous. And they've already got some big results. I don't know if Frank Lampard, I think maybe Lampard was in charge at that time. By the way, this is what happens, man, when you got uncles and you got your family in football. You get jobs like nobody's business. Even when you fail, you still get jobs. You still get jobs, man. How is he in charge till the end of the season at Chelsea? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So it's going to be very, very interesting. In terms of the way they play quickly. They play. They get the ball up quickly. They don't try to mess about at the back. They try to play the percentages. So Manchester United have got to match them. I don't know if you guys remembered the game that we played against them in the FA Cup. That game wasn't easy. That game was not an easy game. I think 2 goals came late on. They had chances. So, yeah. I mean, it was Garnacho that took it away from them, if I'm not mistaken, in that game in the FA Cup. So it's going to be very, very competitive. Like I said, if you're not from Manchester and you're not from Liverpool, it's very difficult for people to understand. The cities are not that far. Driving, if the road is clear, is what? 40, 45 minutes. You can get there, city centre to city centre. If on the train, it's 45 minutes on the train, gets you there. There's a train from Victoria that gets you there for 25 minutes, half an hour. So, like I said, it's almost like it's closer than going from maybe South London to Central London. Honestly, it's closer. So at the end of the day, it's a derby. They treat it as a derby. They've spoiled. Everton have been there before. I'll never forget when City won the league. Man United were winning 3-1. We were coasting, and they came back to draw 3-3. They've beaten us there before. They've got the draw there before. So for me, this team, I'm not getting giddy. I'm not getting overexcited because we played well for a half against Brentford, but we didn't create. We didn't work the goalkeeper. We got a one chance, and one of the clearest chances, Rashford took it. That was it. We had a lot of shots. We had 18 shots, 6 on target. That was, for me, we're not being accurate enough. So, to me, it has to be that Manchester United have to dominate the game. Have to dominate the game, and when you're with your domination and possession, can you create the clear chances? Can you work their goalkeeper? That's the question, people. That's the hardest thing in football, putting the ball at the back of the net. And I think it's dangerous the way we rely on Rashford. We really rely on Rashford. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. It is what it is, United Devil. Big up yourself. Jobs for the boys, FC. Here we go. There it is. It is what it is. We'll come back to that. We'll talk about the rumors that I'm hearing about people like Fred and Diego Dalot and all these people just getting handed out contracts right, left, and centre. What have you achieved at Man United to be getting long-term contracts? Because you know these contracts are not going to be short-term. The Luke Shaw tells you. So if we're giving a long 4-year contract or 3-year or 4-year contract to the likes of Fred and Diego Dalot, what does that say? What does that say about Manchester United and where we want to get to? To me, all it will show me that Glazeronomics still at work, Glazeronomics still giving these contracts out, and it would be very difficult to get rid of these players. If we were good, if the Glazers sold full sale, it'd be very difficult to get rid of these players. So that's why I'm like, take the year extension, give yourself a time, and if you want them to stay, if we get bought out, then the people who buy the football club, with whoever the regime of the structure they put in behind, will then make the decisions. Because you can't have like 60 players on the books. And I don't understand it, but we'll come back to that in a minute. We'll come back to that. So Everton, what am I expecting? I expect Man United, we've only lost 1 game at home this season. We've drawn some games though at Old Trafford. So for me, Manchester United have got to come out with the same energy. We can't be, even though it's 12:30 kickoff, I'll be there. We've got to come out and not be sluggish. We've got to come and show our quality. But more importantly, can we do the next bit now? Can we do the next bit where we create clear opening chances and then get the goals? Get two goals up, You know what I mean? Let them come on to us. They'll have to open up. They'll have to come for it and hit them on the counter, because that's what every team does. Honestly, it's surreal for me where the way football fans talk about counter-attack. If you set up, there are teams who set up to counter from minute one, and there are teams who basically go 2-0 up, 2 goals up, don't have to attack as much. You know what I mean? You know, keep playing their patterns of play, but the other team has to risk it, especially if they're battling relegation. And have you seen how many teams are battling relegation? You win a game, you go up to 15th or 14th, 13th. You lose a game and you're back in the bottom 3. And this is where we're at. So it's dangerous to underestimate Everton. It's dangerous for us to think about, to get complacent. And you know, if any team, Man United players don't need any encouragement to get complacent. We already know. So the biggest thing for me was similar to the way Brentford are. I think Brentford are a more better team, obviously, and better physicality. They didn't show it at Old Trafford. They were really disappointing because they thought they can just sit back, mid to low block, and try to hit us on the counter, and it didn't work for them. It didn't, because the way that the tactics of Eric Ten Hag, it didn't work. It was complete BS against Newcastle, but it worked that first half, especially against Brentford. The fullbacks went up. The 2 centre halves, we were super aggressive. We were snapping in to win the ball back. We dominated that first half, but we didn't create any clear chances. So can Man United do better now? One better. Start in similar tone, in similar fashion to the way we started against Brentford. Can we then go and do it against Everton? But this time, create more chances on goal and variation of people taking shots and literally, you know, like getting the goals. Sancho, Bruno. I mean, Bruno's going to play deeper again. I'm expecting that. I'll be shocked if we don't get the same Sabitzer, McTominay, Bruno midfield, and I expect it to be mobile up front. I don't think Martial will start. I think it could be the same start that started, the same 3 that started Matt. Sancho, Anthony, Rashford. The back 5 is the back 5. I think he's going to start with the same team that started the game, if I'm not mistaken, minus Luke Shaw, because we don't know how precautionary that muscle injury was. So, you know, it's going to be a tough game. But in terms of one thing you will always think about, whether they get beat, regardless how they play, one thing you're going to get from them, Sean Dyche, because Sean Dyche will not accept anything else. Aggression, intensity, and physicality. So Manchester United need to be ready for those 3. We have to match any of these teams who are fighting relegation, any of these teams below us. We have to match them in those 3. Every team Man United play, you have to match them anyway. Physicality, aggression, intensity. It's the mantra. It is the mantra. For me, then the principles of play that Eric Ten Hag keeps banging on about, when you get those 3, when you match the other team with those 3, physicality, aggression, intensity, the principles of play then come into play. The patterns of play, that comes into play, where you got rest defense, you know what I mean? The transitional play, all that comes into play. Then all of that, and then how we keep possession as well. Because giving the ball away at dangerous places, you're going to get punished. Because they will have, I expect, Unana is a dangerous player. Gray is a dangerous player. I mean, the guy who goes up front for them, what's his name? The striker. I forgot his name. Something Simmons. Simmons, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he is a very interesting player as well. Like, so it's not going to be easy, people. It is seriously not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. Manchester United have to come out and show, yeah, Ellis Simmons. Whether it's Ellis Simmons they start up front, whether they start the guy that they got from Brighton, Neil Maupay, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. So they're going to look to defend deep. They're going to look to counter-attack with Gray. So we're going to have to be patient with our football. We can't just panic from the first minute. But I need Man United to camp the way we camp Brentford in. We have to camp them in like that. And then we have to take our chances. But be more creative. Be more creative. And see the next pass. Not always taking a shot straight away. I know that they must have spoke about it in training since Sunday. And they were like, oh, we need to start shooting people because Man United don't shoot enough. So it's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting game. I expect the same team except for Luke Shaw to start. Martial to come on to have an effect on the game. Fred maybe to come on. Some people might start Fred in this game. You know, if Bruno's playing in the 6, can Fred start and give more energy? Does McTominay start for the height? I'm looking at their team. Really, they're not big. Yeah. Who's tall in their team? Yari Mina, but I don't know if he's playing. I think he might still be injured. Yari Mina. So, yeah, Unana is quite tall. Ellis is not that small. Michael Keane, Gray, Decore's out. James Tarkowski. Connor Cody if he's playing, or Yuri Mina. So it's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting game, honestly. I expect a tough game, and I expect the game to go like it was at the FA Cup game. And the FA Cup game was tight. If I'm not mistaken, people, you can remind me, that game wasn't straightforward football game. It was tight. It was tight. And then we got the goals. We got the goals because they made mistakes, didn't they? They equalized. It was 1-1. And when it was 1-1, they had the chance to go 2-1 up. Unfortunately, they missed the chance. And remember that game, De Gea conceded one of the most horrendous goals I've ever seen. He was just holding onto the post. I'm like, what the F are you doing, De Gea? Use your hands, grab that ball. He got nutmegged in a near post by the goal, and then somebody tapped it in. I think it was Connor Cody that tapped it in. So I think it was 3-1. We took it away from them towards the end of the game. That's what we did. So big up to everybody. I think it's going to be different to replace, also bring new players, handing out massive contracts. Yeah, exactly, bro. Like I said, I'm worried. We're going to come to that. That's the next topic for us to discuss tonight. But big up Adewale. He says, United need to create more chances. We're taking too many shots outside the box. Anthony Rashford, yeah, 100%. 100%. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know where you're getting this confidence from, bro. I genuinely don't know where you're getting this confidence from, but I'm not taking this lightly. Like I said, I've been burnt many times. That's with Casemiro. With Casemiro, Everton could have gone 2-1 up at Old Trafford in the FA Cup. With Casemiro. Wasn't that Casemiro that scored to make it 2-1? If I'm not mistaken, he hit that shot and he went in right off the... And then one of them was the own goal as well, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm mistaken. Yeah, 100%. Of course I am. Of course I am, because Man United don't have the quality, the depth, and the quality, the strength, and the depth to compete in all these crazy trophies and to be flying out with that Mickey Mouse Europa League Cup. Man United don't do that. I predicted the collapse that we had. I predicted it. I don't know if you subscribe to this channel, C. Goulet, but you need to subscribe to the channel, because I've done about 7 or 8 videos where I was specifically saying, guys, this is unsustainable. This is unsustainable. Until it wasn't sustainable. And people are you surprised about the way we played against Newcastle? No. Am I surprised at what happened at Liverpool? No, I'm not surprised. Am I surprised at the way we played against Southampton at home? No, I'm not surprised. Because burn out, baby. Burn out. They always tell you on you personally, don't be burning the candle at both ends. Do not be burning the candle at both ends. That says something. Man United Football Club, I've been burning the candle. Football, in terms of the team and Eric Ten Hag, burning a candle too many places. And also, for me, when you're emotionally, mentally, and physically, emotionally fatigued, you then lack off. They're only human. They're not robots. And hence why the manager's saying, no, I need you to be robots. It's going to be very difficult. But I'm saying, don't be, if you're not going to bring 3, regardless how tired you are, if you're not bringing aggression, you're not bringing intensity and physicality, don't put on a shirt. Don't put on a shirt, say, listen, I don't feel it today. Honestly, don't. Because that's the minimum. Regardless how many games you play this season, that's the minimum. That's what we expect. Now, that doesn't mean that Man United cannot lose games. That doesn't mean that Man United can't draw games. Because it's only 3 results in football, people. You win, you lose, you draw. There's no shame in losing either. Don't mistake me for people that think that I'm that delusional, that I think Man United should win every game. No, I don't believe that. That's impossible. But what I do believe is that Man United, when you're putting that shirt I expect you to battle for that. You're wearing the history there on that crescent here on your chest. You're wearing the history and the way that this club, the magnitude of this football club, the global fan base, and every fan that's cheering you on inside Old Trafford. That's what you're doing. So it's the minimum. It's got to be standards. Has to be standards. This month will expose a lot of the players and if their mentality is right for this club. Exciting few weeks. Big up Blocker. Lot of love, brother. Smash a like. There's nearly 70 of you in here. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, people. And hit the notification button because it lets you know when your next live. But it's not going to be easy. I mean, let me know what your team is, guys. I'll pick the team. I think it's going to be the same team that started against Brentford, except for Malacia, for Luke Shaw. But that's the team that I'm expecting. I'll be shocked if Eriksen, I might be shocked if I think he might be in the Europa League. Let's have a look at our fixtures again one more time. Just have a look at the fixtures again. So Everton, and then we go to Sevilla on Thursday. I think he might play for the Sevilla game. I think he might be in the bench for the Sevilla game. It might come a bit too early for him. Or he could be in the bench for this game either, for the Everton, back in the squad. But it is what it is. And then we come back on the Sunday and we're away to Nottingham Forest. Yeah, we've beaten them comfortably in the League Cup, but it's not going to be that easy because that was a cup game and this is the Premier League and they're fighting for their lives. So that's not going to be easy either. And then we come back and it's Sevilla on the Thursday, and then on the Sunday at 4:30 we play Brighton in the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley. So that's a game I'm not looking forward to whatsoever. Honestly, I'm dreading that game. I hope we can be clinical against Brighton, but they're gonna bob us off the park. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm already predicting that for you guys. That game, they're gonna bob us off that park like nobody's business because that's what they've done to all the teams. Workhorse opponent coach's plan. Workhorse is up from play, higher line, Martial and Rashford to drop off. Yeah, big up Arian Cruiser. Big up Nuruddin. I hope really hope we get 2 win and keep our position and don't do anything rash. Let's hope, man. Let's hope, brother. I like the passing against Brentford, but we didn't see it enough yet. Well, we saw the way that we played well. When does Casemiro come back? Yeah, this is the last game. So Casemiro is back against Nottingham Forest, Brighton. He'll be playing against Sevilla. Obviously, he's not cup tied for that game. Tom, let me know if you want to jump on. Let me know. I'll send you the link quickly because I just want to talk to you about I want to talk to you briefly about the news that all these players like Diego Dalot, likes of Fred, are getting contracts offered right, left, and center, and I'm like, what's going on here? So let me know. Give me the thumbs up, Tom, if you want to jump on. The top 4 battle will be cooking on Sunday. Brentford versus Newcastle, Brighton versus Tottenham. We must beat Everton and take advantage and put pressure on them. You know, that game's going to be really fascinating, Brentford versus Newcastle. Brighton at home to Spurs, that's going to be a very interesting game. But the game, because Brentford at home, they've been really dangerous. They've troubled teams this season at home. So that's going to be a very interesting. And obviously, Newcastle are on fire after they stuffed David Moyes and his stuffy, shitty West Ham team. I hope they go down as well. I hope they get relegated. I hope he gets relegated. I can't stand him. If that's a Man United, they're going to play 11 behind the ball and defend for their lives. But when it's Newcastle, they all start making defensive errors and mistakes and all of this BS. It is what it is, innit? Big up. So, Tom, let me know if you want to jump on, if you got the time. If not, nope, don't worry about it. Nuruddin, I Nuruddin, bye Nuruddin, Lord. Deadwood FC, 24/7 7 days a week. LMO, real therapy. Big up Prazana. That's me in the Matrix, innit? It's the version of me in the Matrix. Top nothing football lifestyle. On the bench with Palestri, Martial, Workhorse, Fred, much better than I've seen in the last few months. Yeah, to a certain extent. But then we've had like people like Casemiro on that starting. So it's going to be very interesting. Wow, I love Nuruddin. Fair play. No, Nuruddin. I think I really think as a United fan, we lost Brentford. We lost to Brighton. No, but I think we'll beat both to come back. Okay, that's what you think. That's what you think. You know, it's everybody's opinion. My opinion is no greater than any opinion, and like I just question it. So if you make an opinion, I can, you know, you can question my opinion, no problem. I have absolutely no problem with that. Football is a game of opinion. Agreed. Top four, first game. Agree for top four. We are the first game up. We need to put a marker up. Brighton and Brentford need to do us a favour. Nah, I genuinely do. I think it'd just be very interesting to see how how far Brentford have come this season. Like if they're gonna try to Newcastle, if the Newcastle are there to go and bully them and do what they did to Man United, it's going to be very interesting. And Newcastle tails are up. They look like they've just found form at the right time of the season. So it's going to be very, very interesting. You can't sustain them because, yeah, I want them down, mate. Eriksen's looking big, like he looks like he has put on a bit of pounds. Well, the biggest thing for me about Eriksen is it's about the 50 minutes, 60 minutes he gasses out. So it's about, obviously, he's got a heart monitor, and that could be to do with the condition, and that could be the level of intensity that obviously he's not getting any younger, that the way that, you know, the league is and the way how in the system of Erik ten Hag, it demands a lot of you physicality. You can't just be resting on the ball as much because Man United, the rest of the players are not good at keeping possession all of the time, but it'll be very interesting. Any idea why Iqbal is getting a look class during the preseason and it's in the internationals? Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? He plays regularly for Iraq, but he's not playing for England. I find that really sad, but I don't think Erik ten Hag thinks he's physically ready. But then I look at some of the players and I think sometimes, you know, some of the players don't bring that aggression, the physicality. They don't bring the intensity anyway, and we get smashed anyway. So, you know, that's the reason. But Tom, if you're still in the chat, let me know if you want to jump on to pick your brain about these players who are getting contracts offered to them. Let me know if you want to jump on if you're still there. If not a problem. If you're busy, you're busy. So it's going to be a tough game, people. Tough game. Really tough game. I'm not expecting an easy game, but I'm expecting Man United to dominate possession. I expect Man United to start and to think that, yeah, we're at home and we need to do this. We need to really like step it up now. We need to recover from the blip. So it'll be really interesting, which is going to be a very interesting. Next week's going to be fascinating because it is that, you know, we've got the Sevilla game. You know, I hate that competition. I don't even want to talk about it. Nottingham Forest. And then we go, I think we come back from Sevilla. I think we fly back and then we have to play. That's the maddest thing about it. So Brighton are going to be resting all week, right? Resting all week, Brighton. And then on the 23rd, they're going to be playing Man United. And they're going to be properly rested. That is effing crazy. Man United have to go fly to Sevilla away game and come back. If it was a home game, I would think, yeah, but the flight's going to kill us for them to come back to Brighton. If Brighton are never going to have a better chance of beating Man United in that game, honestly. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Listen, like I said, the kid has had injury after injury since he went to that club. He's never been the same since. You know, I think he played and was fit a couple of games for Frank Lampard, and then he just had injury after injury after injury. Yeah, Decore, yeah, he's a dangerous guy. A lot of legs. You know, I personally think he's better than Fred and McTominay. That's just me. That's just me. That's just me. I think Decore is more competent on the ball, better physicality, better engine. Like, more of a footballer, can pass the ball 5 yards, can pass the ball 20 yards. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. That's what I've always said. Would Everton take Scott McTominay out for Decore? No, they wouldn't. Would Everton take Fred for Decore? No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. So I feel sorry when we've seen the past videos on our loss. I really think we've lost and won against Brentford. Bring Brighton, correction will be made. Big. Yeah, it will be. Let's hope you're right. But guys, let's get into this last bit here. I'm hearing the rumours of Manchester United players being offered contracts. So we're talking about Luke Shaw's already got a contract. Diego Dalot, Fred, Rashford, David De Gea. So 5 players. Now, I understand the types of seasons that De Gea and Rashford has had, because De Gea saved us a lot. Yes, is De Gea the future of Manchester United goalkeeping? No. Do I think that maybe we can bring a keeper on to compete with him and keep De Gea? Yes. Do I think that David De Gea possesses all of the instruments to play in modern football, especially the way that Ten Hag wants to play, where you got to sweep a keeper, and then the other big thing for me, what about David De Gea, is that he's not commanding his box enough. That has always been a marker. I used to defend David De Gea because I remember in the seasons of the David Moyes, Van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Oli at times. I don't know where we, especially under Moyes, Jose, and Van Gaal, Jose. I don't know where Man United would have finished, because it's there. Constantly, he was winning the Player of the Season, and David De Gea was saving us. Then, to me, the game where me and De Gea, the love was parted, was the game against Sheffield United at Old Trafford during the lockdown under Oli. That was the game that I thought, you are one of the most experienced players. You are one of the guys who actually won the Premier League. You are one of the leaders of this team, but you're getting bullied by 5'7" stocky striker from Sheffield United. And you got bullied, and he didn't even give any physicality, anything back. So that's, to me, that game was the game that was like, De Gea, you're not the future of Manchester United goalkeeper for me. Now, saying that, I think he might have recovered, but this season, a lot of the games, especially at Old Trafford, the record that we've got at Old Trafford is really good. We've only lost 1 game, you know what I mean? It's becoming a fortress again. And I think in a lot of the games, David De Gea has pulled out some world-class saves. A lot of the games, and I've not missed that many league games at Old Trafford this season. I'm not going to lie to you, I've not missed many league games at Old Trafford this season. And a lot of those league games, David De Gea has pulled out world-class saves. So is there, for him to be in the competition for next year, do I think Manchester United need a modern keeper, a younger keeper? Do I think they need a somebody? To me, you judge them are they a good shot stopper? Can they get better? Do they have a higher ceiling? Do they command their box? Have they got good attributes of commanding their box? And then can they be a sweeper keeper? Those 3 elements have to be there. So we don't necessarily have to get rid of David De Gea. Definitely, he would have to take a pay cut because he's on the most extraordinary money. He's the most paid goalkeeper in world football. Most paid goalkeeper in world football. Simple as. Rashford has had a phenomenal season. I don't know. It's up to Rashford if he wants to stay here. If the Glazers stay, I think Rashford might want to go. I'm not going to lie to you. If the Glazers stay at this football club, depending on the owners, I think Rashford and his brothers are definitely his brother's going to be advising him, because if the Glazers stay, Glazeronomics are here, mate. He ain't winning nothing. And even it don't matter. Go to PSG and win a Farmers League. At the end of the day, some players, it's still a league. I mean, that's how we might be looking at it. But Fred, no chance. No absolute way. And I know he's had a good season. I know that he's played really well in a lot of the big games this season. But I'm sorry. I'm really genuinely sorry, guys. I'm sick to death of seeing Fred from Stoke. I'm sick to death the Fred that can't pass the ball 5 yards. I'm sick to death that Fred that can't control the ball. I know he's had a good season, but I'm not having Fred getting 4-year contract. No chance. Also, I'm not having Diego Dalot getting 4-year contracts. I'm not having it. I'm sorry. You were good to begin with, but since the World Cup, where have you been? Where have you been since the World Cup, bro? Where have you been? So, for me, that's why, to be objective within this argument, if Manchester United get bought, a lot of people are saying it's going to be a lot of work for John Murta and that to sort out contracts and to be signing players and all of this. Now, I understand that, but I always, like I said it to Adam last night in my match preview, in the match reaction, United on the United stand. I was like, you can chew a lot of gums, right? You can chew a lot of gum, walk while being on your phone at the same time. So I can be chewing gum, looking at my phone and walk at the same time. I could do three things at the same time. So at the end of the day, these guys, we've took the year option on all of their contracts. I don't know if somebody correct me in the comments if one of them is running out, their contract is done, they're a free agent in the summer. I don't think they are. So you sort that out. You wait. You hold on till if the club is if the Glazers are going to stay, if the club's bought out, whether to Radcliffe or to the Qataris, we wait and find out. But giving out 4-year contracts before we know these things, nah, mate, miss me out with that shit. Miss me out with all that BS. Miss me out. Miss me out with that. Miss me out with, oh, you got a lot to sort out. No, like I said, a lot of people can do a lot more things. So I'm sorry, we've took the year optional. Find out. We'll do it at the end of the summer, at the beginning of the next season. We'll sort out the contracts. But I'm not having people who have been failures in the past so many years to be there. Same with McTominay. People are talking about a contract for McTominay, maybe. You know, same with Martial, whether he's going to leave or not. Can you stay fit till the end of the season, Martial? A lot of things. I was absolutely gobsmacked that Luke Shaw got 4 years. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was gobsmacked. They got Montana says, Mark Fred FC, here we go. Yeah, I was gobsmacked. I was absolutely gobsmacked. I'm not here for that. I'm genuinely not here for people to be getting contracts right, left and centre when we took the year optional anyway. And within that year, we can sort out a new contract with them. But I need everybody to be assessed. Let's say the Glazers are leaving. Let's just say, for argument's sake, the Glazers go. I want Ten Hag and the coaching team with Murta, right, to be looking at Andy O'Boyle, yeah, all those guys looking at the stats and looking at the videos of games and assessing, getting a team to assess the performance of the players. Do they deserve a new contract? Do the new owners who are going to have vision, hopefully, to take Man United back to where we belong, that means competing for the Champions League and competing for the league titles, then I'm sorry. I'm not having Fred anywhere near the squad. I need competent footballers who can pass the ball 5 yards. I don't need a Jekyll and Hyde within the space of 2 minutes. And I'm not just picking on Fred. There are many players in the squad like that. I'm not having this Jekyll and Hyde. I don't want that. Same with Scott McTominay. Same with Diego Dalot. I'm not having this. To me, Luke Shaw, defensively suspect. Shitbag runs away from Saka in that game. We lost that game because he was shitting himself. He was absolutely shitting himself at the Highbury. No. I want my fullback to go out and smash somebody. That's what I want you to do. I don't want you to be running back. I want you to stop crosses regularly. I don't want any more crosses bombing down from your side. Shut that down. That's what I want regularly. So for me, consistency. You be consistent for this club. You be consistent in this team. You get, to me, I'm not one of these people that's envious of these footballers or money. If you're performing week in and week out, get paid, mate. Take the club to the cleaners, because football is an entertainment business at the end of the day, people. And a lot of people are getting paid football who actually are not consistent or not on the football pitch, like agents. So, do I think that footballers deserve the rewards, the riches that they get? Yes, I do. You have to earn it. You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. Any given season, I give as a human being, because I know they're not robots, I can give you giving me average performances maybe 5 to 6 times. Being woeful, maybe 4 or 5 times. 10 games, I can give you being average, and then 5 games being woeful. I can take that, because you're not. But the other 7, I expect aggression, intensity, physicality, and I need you to be consistent. So I'm not giving you no new 4-year contract like was dashed out to Phil Jones. And that's why I always big up from Smalling. Chris Smalling, a.k.a. Michael Smalling. you know. He was like, nah, he was the only guy who looked around and said, nah, I want to go and play football, man. I want to go and play football. I think you're going to get somebody like Lindelof who's going to go, nah, I want to go and play football. Harry Maguire, if he's got anything about him, he's going to go, nah, I need to go and play football. That's what he's going to say. To me, because it's not about the money, people. It's for the glory. And if you're fit enough, you think that you should be starting, find yourself a club that go where you go and start week in, week out, other than sitting on Man United bench. But I need, just like Malacia to Luke Shaw is, right? Just like Malacia to Luke Shaw is, right? That Malacia can come in anytime, and Malacia is putting serious pressure on Luke Shaw. Like, I think Malacia should start some games. I think Luke Shaw should start all of those games. Because the way I saw it last night in that game, Malacia came on and defended better than Luke Shaw. 100% fact. Defends better than Luke Shaw. Positionally, he might be suspect. But Luke Shaw positionally is terrible. Lazy, always gives a free kick away, running and grabs people. No, I need you to run back and then tackle them, win. But Malacia wins more tackles than Luke Shaw. Facts. He might not give us as enough an attacking threat as Luke Shaw has given us this season. That you can be objective and say that's clear. But I need every position in this football club. If you're every position, whether goalkeeper, somebody to push David De Gea, somebody to push Wan-Bissaka and Diego Dalot, somebody to be pushing Casemiro. I need 2 more players for me who can play in that position. Who can play in that position? One can play as a number 8, but who can play as a number 6? Well, I need another number 6, and I need another number 6. Pick up, Tom. I'll let you in a minute because I love to get your opinion. You can end the show actually with all your opinions, and I'll mute. No problem. Is that I want every position. Bruno, pressure. Rashford, pressure. Anthony, pressure. Whoever the strikers come in, pressure. I need a squad, people. Then we can go for every trophy. Then you're never going to hear me sit here moan to you for the PRME about, we haven't got the quality. We haven't got the strength and depth. We're doing too much. It's going to cost us. No, I'm not going to say that to you. If our squad is good enough, I'm going to be like, no, listen, you're not even going to notice the levels are not going to drop that big. But I'm sorry, giving contract to players where the levels are dropped massively, nah. And remember, Casemiro is 30, Eriksen is 31. Tom, just to go on about the players who are supposedly getting new contracts. I mean, I'm absolutely dumbfounded. Absolutely dumbfounded. Because Man United, if you look to the last 10 years, Manchester United do not get rid of players unless their contract runs out. We reward failure and more failure, but take it away.
Well, look, it all stems, like we say, from the ownership, doesn't it? Like, these guys haven't been willing to invest in, a proper redevelopment of a stadium. They haven't want to, relatively invest any of their own money in any of the teams, whether that be men's, women's, or youth teams. Like, I think it sums it up, really. So the easiest solution to those concerns and those problems is you reward mediocrity and you reward, if you like, moral highs. Luke Shaw has 1 good season out of 8. He gets a 4 or 5 year contract. Like, he does a madness at Wembley, for example, with a free kick. Brilliant crossover, albeit, and everything. We got hyped up during the Euros, Sherbert or Carlos and all those things. And then suddenly you get brought, back down to planet Earth the following weekend, mate. You weren't partying at Anfield, mate, when you were getting popped about by Mohamed Salah. So at the end of the day, I look at it's not even to do with the terms that we negotiate with these players. I just think the timing of all of these, negotiations and things it's wrong. It is wrong. We have to agree on that, because ultimately you can't put a player, whether it be Luke Shaw or any other player, Rashford, whoever, when you don't know who's signing off on the checks and how much money you have to work with in terms of players and contracts. What sort of solution is that setting to any prospective owner or any prospective investor when you're just giving out contracts to players like Luke Shaw, of whom have done what? Had one big moment in a Carabao Cup final, put a ball in the box, scored, was scored from a corner. That was it. But ultimately, I look over the facts of it all, and I just think different areas of the position, we need the investment and we need the improvement. And like you're saying, we need that. We need that squad. That is the thing. But I always say, with anything, it's better to have quality than have a squad, because you can have a squad of mediocrity and you could be mid-table, but you could have a squad of players who are all quality, and you might have 2 or 3 that might sit on the bench, but that's all you need. Why do you think Liverpool, for example, were so successful in competing with Manchester City? They never had the squad depth and in the quality and depth that City had, but they had amazing first 11, and they had 1 or 2 or 3 players that could come off the bench if they needed to be relied upon. And they brought and added that quality, and it was almost as if you just replaced the quality with quality in a team. But with us, we don't have that at the end of the day. We don't. We overspent in the market in the summer on certain players. We can blame whomever you want on that, recruitment or whatever. And then the negotiations of these contracts, like, it's not even negotiating a contract, Nuruddin, though. It's how long they drag these out as well. And if you can't agree with terms with a player, like the easiest example I can use in this case is the David De Gea sort of saga that's going on at this moment in time. When David De Gea is on £375,000 a week, he's probably the highest paid goalkeeper in the league, I think. When you think about that, right, he will look at that and think, I'm at the age that I'm at. I've had my big megalodon contract, if you like, my big contract of my career. I probably need to renegotiate terms down to a lower solution. Now, he wants to negotiate down to somewhere in the region of the lowest that I know David De Gea is prepared to go is about 325,000, which is only saving you £50,000 per week. But ultimately, you could sign a new goalkeeper who would be happy on terms of 200 grand a week at Man United. So you could save yourself that £100,000 per week there. That over the course of 5 or 6 weeks, maybe, that saves you in excess of a couple of £100,000. And when you add it up over the months, it probably saves you about £5 or £6 million per year on that contract. But Man United don't look at things from the financial perspective. They just look at David De Gea and think, he's a cult hero, he's a legend. And this isn't me slagging David De Gea off. I'm just using him as the example. Because if you were to negotiate terms with a player, you don't get held to ransom by somebody, whether they've been a hero at your club or not. It doesn't matter. If they're that much of a hero and they're that much in love with your football club, they'll dance to the club's tune, not their agent or their own tune. And like I say, David De Gea, I don't really see what the fence he has to sit on. Same thing with Luke Shaw. What do you have? How can you seriously sit there and say that you demand XYZ amount of money and you demand XYZ amount of years at this club when you've done nothing? You've achieved nothing at this club, really. David De Gea, you can say he's been here through the highs and the lows. I can accept that because he won things with Sir Alex Ferguson. But Luke Shaw, for example, mate, what have you won? You've won a couple of mediocrity trophies at Man United that mean nothing to a lot of Man United fans, because the only passionate, hard-going fans, even like Nuruddin says most of the time, the only sort of historical trophies in the league, in sort of Man United's history, that matter is the Champions League, the Premier League and the FA Cup. Anything else is probably below par in a lot of people's minds. But ultimately, we go back to the basics. We did the business like we did with Malacia, for example, in the summer, £15 million. We actually listened to our manager in terms of the recruitment policy of players that he wants, and you plucked out a gem, really, because I think Malacia is a really good player in terms of the squad depth for now, and I think Erik ten Hag over time can develop him to probably take Luke Shaw's spot in the long grand scheme of things. But when you're blowing around contracts on players who have achieved nothing, whether it be at Man United or elsewhere, that's where I have the problem. And the overall age thing here, like Prakash has said here, the age of our squad is not the youngest at all. It was at one point in time when we had Ollie, but now a lot of these players are getting on. And ultimately, you have to sign replacements for these players. Because at the end of the day, we brought in players like Ericsson and that, bring the quality, bring the ability. You bring in Casemiro as well, albeit it wasn't the one that we wanted. We wanted Frankie de Jong, who was a much younger profile of player at the time. But even so, we need to be looking for who's going to take Casemiro's spot, because he might give you 2 or 3 years to give you a head start, but then you need players who are going to take over that role. But we don't do that at Man United. We have the scouts who find some of the best talents in the world, but we don't listen to them. And ultimately, it goes back to the same point. It's Glazeronomics and the cash pile that these people have had over the years that has always bailed them out whenever they need to, back a new manager with that one summer window where they always get backloaded in, and then the rest of them, it goes to absolute Pete Tong and they get nobody. They get absolutely nobody. You take, for example, what happened with Ollie. Ollie's first summer, he got every single thing he wanted. Dan James, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, he got everything he wanted. The second summer, he got Pellistri, Ahmad, Cavani, and Donny van der Beek. None of whom were his choice players in that case at all at that time. Some of them were recruitment players, and some of them were just, they're there, they're free on the market. We'll get Cavani, he's for free. Why not? It saves us buying a number 9. But then it comes to bite you in the arse, like in the position that we are now, a couple of years down the line, like I'm saying, we don't have a number 9. That's the problem. But then you look at the market now, the market maybe when you was, floating around getting Cavani for free, the market back then, you might have got a Victor Osimhen for half the price that you might pay now. You might have got a Gonzalo Ramos from Benfica's academy. Maybe a younger version of him, but he'd be at your club now doing things what he's doing at Benfica. And you're set in stone. But ultimately, I've said it, and I've gone around the houses here. The age profile of our squad isn't good enough. The terms of the contracts that we're negotiating with players, we're getting our pants pulled down on. Because if these players had a backbone and they cared about our club, they would not demand so much of what they do. And if you feel like you're getting done over, whether it be as a director at Man United or as the owners, for what a player is demanding or his agent is demanding, you shift them on and you move somebody in. Diego Costa, for example, you move him in. You move David De Gea on. You get other players in. You said it many times, Nurin. You rate Sesko, the kid from Salzburg, and going through the Leipzig sort of model. Man United should be chasing these players when they were coming through academies. But we do. We just don't pull the trigger and get the players at that time. That's the problem. And ultimately, you can have the best scouts in the world. You can have a director of football. You can have all these different departments. But what's the point in playing these people if you don't want to listen to them? And you don't want to actually look at the plans that they have in place? But transfer windows, we can go through what we want when we recruit players and we go different areas of the squad. But overall, it's a shambles. And like I say, until we get a proper new ownership who come in, who appoint the best in class, as Man United fans always refer to, and as Gary Neville was the big vocal point for, well, as soon as Man United get the best in class, whether it be a football director, a set of negotiators who actually have a pair of balls to challenge agents and players on what terms they can demand and what terms they can, because at the end of the day, the way you set in standard is an agent does not run how your football club should be negotiating. It's your negotiators and it's your owners who should run how you get negotiated and what you're prepared to offer. And if you're not prepared to meet in the middle or meet on terms, right, the door's always there. Man United's a big football club. Man United will never be short of an attraction for players, whether it be whatever position it is or whatever age. Man United will always attract top quality players, no matter where we are or what competition we're in, because we're that big of a brand and we're that big of a club. And that's what I say with players like David De Gea, Shaw, Rashford. Mate, if you don't want to negotiate to any of our terms, and I don't care how well these players are playing at any point in stage, or if they're our top goal scorers or our top contributors, if you're trying to pull the pants down of Manchester United Football Club and pull the wool over Man United fans' eyes because you've had one good season, when last season you were absolutely garbage and you should have refunded every single one of those fans their tickets when they went, whether it be home or away. And you're wanting to demand the amount of money that you are in contracts off of what? One good season and one trophy in about 6 years? Get on. Honestly, jog on. Because if that's your vocal point of Man United, and that's what you really think of Man United, mate, you ain't Man United players. And that's why I have lots of respect for players like Martinez, lots of respect for players who, do you know what? I don't really care about the contract. The old-fashioned players, the Michael Carricks of the world, the Roy Keanes, I don't care what I get paid. I want to play for Man United. And ultimately, you don't get that in the modern era because it's all monetized. And agents run players' careers where it should be the other way around. But until, like I say, we get a medium, we get a new ownership in who want to set all these people up in places, you won't be getting your pants pulled down by other players at other football clubs and negotiators there. But also, you won't be getting pulled by your own players and the own agents who actually run your club. And that is why, Nuruddin, Manchester United were made an absolute mug of by, God rest his soul, Mino Raiola. He mugged Man United off for years, and he mugged more millions out of Man United than we should have probably prepared to have paid him or his clients that we actually employed at our club. And ultimately, that just sets it in stone for the whole club. Because if you get done over on one deal, you best believe somebody else or another agent's going to hear it about it and think, right, Man United's free for business, mate. We can pull the pants down. We can get whatever terms and money we want.
Well, Tom, I think a bit of that is going on because that's what we call Glazeronomics, where you just trust agents and agents pull your pants down. But the biggest thing for me is this: like, what is happening? Like, that's why it makes me really think the Glazers are staying. I really think the Glazers are staying because I don't know why would you be giving out contracts while you've already took the optional 1-year extension on these players? Where's this rush coming from? Where's this rush coming from?
Well, that's the only thing why I say this in terms of I don't think it's to do with the ownership because the people who operate the football club, the Glazer family have distanced themselves from it. Even Richard Arnold in this case, I do have to cut him some slack in the case of he's distanced himself from the football operations. The only people that we know of anyway, of whom are in control of these players' contracts and the players we bring in is John Murtough. And even Eric Ten Hag pointed that out when he said, "Oh, I've not heard from John. John's not told me or anything like that." So he's singled the guy out.
Allowed to give out contracts to dead food players?
Well, because he's the football director and they've put their faith and trust in this guy. That's probably
no.
Why.
But listen, if we're gonna be sold, why don't you just wait? That's why I'm genuine. Listen, it would make sense. 100%, it would make sense. Yeah.
But the business has got to keep running, though. I guess that's
no. But Tom, I'm sorry, but that's a lie. That's what the year optional is there for. The year optional is there is for mitigating circumstances to look at it and go, okay, it gives us a bit of a breathing space for us to think about: is this the player that we really want us to stay, or do we want to just let them run out their contracts? And by the way, the reason why Man United players are not sold, I just want to inform you guys before we go, is that basically when the Glazers, because they've got us wrapped up and tied up in so much Wall Street jargon banking language, what they do is Man United sign a player. They sign the player for the length of the contract. So that's why we don't sell players. We don't sell many players, because if we sell players, because we buy these players for extraordinary amount of money, it will appear on their spreadsheet as a loss, and that would come from all the different loans and all of the different banking instruments they use to calculate the money for Manchester United.
I mean, Nuruddin, it's basically doing what Todd Bowley's done for the last, couple of transfer windows, but they've just done it the opposite way, where they gave the long-term contracts and they've spreaded the pay sheets over the whole extension of the contract. Whereas Man United, we just might either pay, if it's like Malassia's sort of fee, where it's like 12 million and then a couple in add-ons, 15 million is like nothing to Man United in the short term, but long term for a player like Sancho, where you're paying nearly 70-80 million pounds, Man United have spread that over a short term costing. But like you say, when you do that for multiple players, the totals add up, and then we suddenly owe I think it's 260 million pounds to clubs that we don't even know who these clubs are that we owe money to. And overall, even players I take, for example, with Palestri, We brought him from the Uruguayan league, I think it was, or Brazilian league. I can't remember.
It was the Uruguayan league, yeah.
We paid them like 10 million euros. Like it's ridiculous. Ahmad, I think we paid nearly 30 million.
35 million,
from Atalanta's academy. Like, are you kidding me? He played one game for them, didn't you?
I know.
Like that. Like,
that's what I'm saying to you. So they play. Get this to understand, people. It took me a long time to understand. Manchester United, for the length of the contract, or it'll be seen on a spreadsheet as a loss, regardless how good the player is or how shit the player is. That's why we had Matic, Mata, Pogba, so many our players left because they run their contracts out. And then the Glazers can give them a bonus for seeing out their contracts. It's crazy. Listen, we have to wrap up there. Big up, Tom. Thank you for coming on. Guys, get your scores quickly. Tom, what you reckon? 2-1, 1-0? What you reckon? But anyway, I don't care how we win. By any means necessary, Manchester United must get the 3 points. Must get the 3 points on Saturday. Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. We're first to go. That's what it is. 100%. We have to get 3 points. No point getting 3 points last night if you can't follow it up and get another 3 points at home.
Yeah.
No point. No point. No point whatsoever. Is that what it's called, NJ0? Asset management. That's what it is. Exactly. They sleep easy. Because the psychopaths, innit? The psychopaths, they sleep really easy. A lot of people are confident. I'm not as confident, but by any means necessary for me, by 1:30, 2 o'clock tomorrow, I want to come out of that. I want to come 2 o'clock tomorrow. I want to be coming out of that stadium thinking, yeah, Man United have got 3 points in the bag. On Saturday. So that's what it will be. So it is what it is. I think I think he's going to play the same team. I think he's going to just start, instead of Shaw, he's going to be Malacia.
Do you think he starts Sancho then?
Say that again?
Do you think he starts Sancho then?
Yeah, I think he might start Sancho, yeah.
Okay.
They registered these players on the Excel spreadsheet and labeled them as assets. It's cheaper to extend contracts and just to increase wages instead of selling and buying quality new players. There you go.
Yeah.
Boom. There you go.
But then but then that's the problem though. When you're tied into a contract with a player for that amount of time, if you can't ship them off to somebody else, you're stuck with them. And that's why this master plan that Todd Bowley and Chelsea believe that they've cooked up with all these players over long-term contracts. Like Mudryk, mate, if he doesn't work out, he's got you over a barrel for 8 years on those terms and wages. There's nothing you can do unless you shipped him off to somebody else. But that causes a whole different set of problems.
Listen, we'll see you on Saturday. We'll see you on Saturday afternoon for the match reaction, Saturday evening. Big up to everybody. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Big up Tom. Make sure you follow him, Tom Journalist 1. And then you can find me on Twitter here, Mr. Structure, that guy, Red Devil. Big up to every one of you. And let me know in the comments. Those of you who are watching this video later, let me know in the comments what do you think the score is going to be. I'll hopefully try to interact with you. Let me know what the team's going to be. Do you agree with me the team's going to be only Malacia is going to be the only change for that muscle injury to Luke Shaw? Or do you think he's going to bring Eriksen back? Do you think Eriksen will be in the squad? Let's chat in the comments, people. What do you think about Man United getting all these players, getting all these 4-year contracts? What's going on? Does that mean the Glazers are staying? What's going on, people? What is going on? Big up, Nuruddin. Listen, big up to every one of you. Love and light. Take care. Good night. Win, lose or draw. Glazers out. Bankers out. We'll see you on Saturday afternoon for the match reaction. Peace.